I've had family withdraw. I've had what I thought were friends withdraw from me simply because I said, I want to love all people. I said, what's wrong with loving all people?
Right.
But you just don't understand. I said, and obviously you don't understand. And if you sit down and get an understanding, maybe you'll treat people differently and stop judging a group based on what a person did.
Right.
And a story of when I was preaching in somewhere I was, and a man came up and said to me, he was brutally attacked by some black guys, and he hated black people from that time. He said that then one day, when he became a pastor, he went through a sickness, and it was a black man in his church that basically took care of him and nurtured him.
Wow.
And he said what healed him was God had to say, you're mad at black people because some black boys robbed you, when you shouldn't have been mad at black people. You should have been angry at the guys who robbed you and not judge the whole group.
Yes.
And that's exactly what people are doing. They're judging an entire group of people by the actions of a few, and that's just ignorance. We've got to sit down, talk through things, love, forgive, and move forward.
Well, I wanted to ask you, and I don't even know the answer to this question, but was there anything that you had to work through personally? I mean, we've done shows on this, by the way, where we talk about the prejudice in both. Because you can see it in both sides. I mean, there have been times I've had guests and I could sense the pushback, and I'm like, whoa, and so I mean, we talked about Dorothy. We did a show where she shared some of the things she had gone through as an African-American woman. And again, it was just to educate, because I had never had anything like this happen to me, okay? I couldn't even relate to it. She goes into a Walmart, and a policeman follows her.
Yes.
And then follows her home.
He thought I'd stolen a jacket that I had on. And, got to the counter, asking for all this ID, followed me home. It was the most humiliating.
And then the next day, came to her door.
So I had to prove, like...
And she had to show the receipt where she bought...
I had to show pictures. Look, I had this jacket on. It was the worst. But I mean, those experiences, I mean, the list is long, long.
Well, and two, when we did the shows with you, and I did it with several others, my mother was watching in South Carolina, and she said, wow, she said, I can't believe that happened to Dorothy. I mean, and so again, she's not telling that story. We'll go, oh, Dorothy, because she's forgiven and moved on past it. But still, we need that kind of clarity and understanding, don't you think? Was there anything that happened to you that you had to work through and forgive as well?
I was in Cartersville, Georgia, on my way from Cleveland from a meeting, and I was stopped by an officer at Cartersville, and he stopped me for no reason and told me to get out. And it was burning hot outside. He made me stay, stand right here in front of his car while he ran my license and found nothing. And he saw my identification that I had a chaplain's badge, that I work with law enforcement. So that should have told him right there that I'm no one you need to be concerned about. But he treated me like he would anyone else that was a person of color. And it was obvious what was happening. It made me feel uncomfortable. And for a moment, I had a moment like, here we go, because of course we've been taught, well, the historical fiber of this country is this, that, and other. But God had to speak to me again and said, my love and my sacrifice has changed all of this, and you're not going to turn your heart toward those actions. You're going to represent me. So it's all about a choice, even in those moments where you're being mistreated, when you're being done wrong. Yes, we have a history, but history is just that, history so that you can know it and not repeat it. That's the ideal of it, which is make history, not repeat it.
So what would you say, Bishop, to someone who's watching, that they just can't, whatever color you are, but you were hurt from another race, whatever, and you just can't get past it? The wound was so deep. Would you just look in the camera, minister to them right now, and talk about why the love of God and forgiveness is so important for us?
Jesus was wounded for our transgressions and bruised for our iniquities. He died for people that rejected him while he was dying. And get this, they were his own people.
Yes.
But yet, he did not have anyone take his life, but he laid it down and sacrificed it for us. So if the Lord Jesus Christ himself can love and forgive, despite what we have done, what we continue to do, or what we will do in the future, what makes you any better? That no matter how deep the wound is, if you claim the love of Jesus Christ and that Christ is in your life, you have to forgive, you have to release the past, and you have to be a platform messenger of how we must move forward in unity today.